welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily the Mystic. I'm so excited that you are here. Today we are talking about a topic that affects a lot of people in my community, and I hope that you find this topic to be very interesting because it's something that I have helped a lot of my clients to navigate, and that is weight gain when it comes to your spiritual awakening journey. What is happening when you are undergoing this really cool process of learning about your spiritual nature and learning more about who you are as a soul, and then all of a sudden you've put on a few pounds and you're like, where did this come from? I don't feel like myself. This is weird. What is happening? What is going on? Especially if you have been going through your awakening over the last couple of years, since the pandemic, since the beginning of 2020, you may really be resonating with this a lot as well, especially if your lifestyle has changed too. And so I hope that this video brings you some comfort to know that you're not alone. Of course, number one, we don't want to make weight gain wrong. We don't want to make ourselves right or wrong for it, because when we make ourselves wrong for something like putting on some weight, which in and of itself is a neutral energy, we have just been taught by society that it is bad to take on weight or to put on weight. We can finally learn to let that go and know, okay, it's all right that I'm navigating this. My body's just shifting and changing. For whatever reason, it needs to be present in itself in this form, in this new physical form with a few extra pounds, and that's okay. And I'm going to be curious about that and what that is so that I can allow myself to joyfully release it if that is what is for my highest path. So again, I don't want you to make yourself wrong if you have put on weight since the beginning of your spiritual awakening journey, because it's totally normal. And I'm going to be sharing with you some of the reasons for why that happens and how you can begin to joyfully release that weight if you feel called to do so. Of course, if it doesn't, bother you at all, then amazing. Just be curious about it. Just notice, what's going on. But if it is bothering you, maybe because you're feeling like your clothes aren't fitting, or because you feel you're not feeling as light as you used to, and you have a new goal and you want to feel more aligned in your physical body, then keep watching this video because you're definitely going to be learning some interesting things from it. So during the process of spiritual ascension, aka your spiritual awakening journey, up-leveling your consciousness, raising your vibrational frequency, you are becoming more light, truly. Your energy field is holding more light. You're creating and expanding the capacity to hold more light. And so because of that, you may begin to feel lighter in your body at the beginning. This can definitely take the shape of, and you may not notice that you're feeling light, but you may begin to feel more uplifted. You may feel more joyful on a daily basis. Of course, navigating the spiritual awakening journey can feel heavy at times, but when you've moved through the heaviness, you may be feeling better. You may be feeling more like yourself, or a more joyful, uplifted, inspired version of yourself. And so the lighter that you feel, and you may also be feeling a little bit foggy, a little bit dizzy, a little bit spacey, a little bit out of it. Those are all signs of being ungrounded. So the lighter that you're beginning to feel in your body, all of a sudden your unconscious mind goes ding, ding, ding. Something is a little bit off. My consciousness and my body is starting to feel a little bit different than what it has in the past. I have a different awareness of my body in space. And so when your mind, your unconscious mind realizes that, and you realizes that something's off, it wants to bring you back to equilibrium, to a state of neutrality, to that state of normalcy. Because of course, anytime that something's off, the body wants to return to homeostasis, right? So as soon as the unconscious mind realizes that we're a little bit ungrounded, we're feeling lighter than normal, what can happen is we can unconsciously develop a habit or a tendency to eat more food, or to snack more often, or to eat sweet foods as a way to ground ourselves, to bring ourselves back down to earth. So if you're feeling heavier in your body right now than normal, it's probably because somewhere along the way of your spiritual awakening journey, you began actually in the past to feel lighter. And all of a sudden, your body realized, no, we need to bring this back to homeostasis. So we're going to allow ourselves to feel heavier and weighted down by eating more food. So I want you to just think about it. Do you feel like you've been snacking more recently? Or has the type of food that you've been eating changed? Perhaps you are eating the same diet that you've always had your whole life. Maybe you've gained weight even with eating the same diet, and all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, I don't know, I'm still eating the same diet, but I actually feel like I want to be eating different kinds of food. I feel called to eat more fruits and vegetables or more non-processed foods. You may also feel like you're reaching for chocolate or some sort of sweet, sugary treat every so often as a way to kind of just give yourself a little boost. That can also happen, especially the other piece of this too with emotional eating, is that if you are working through your spiritual awakening journey to release some unhealed trauma or to let go of some old things, old memories, old energies from the past, you may have a tendency to want to grab something sugary or something sweet as a way to reward yourself for that hard work that you did and to make yourself feel better after you may have navigated something that brought you through a lot of grief or that caused you to feel a lot of heavy, dense energies or emotions. So just notice, have you been eating more chocolate recently or more sweet things? Have you been eating more on your plate than normal? Maybe you find, and this was true for me, I found myself really shoveling down my food and eating a bigger portion than I normally would. Another thing that can happen is you may start, as you're going through your journey, you may start to feel out of resonance with your old habits. So for example, say that you have, and this was what happened for me, I loved weightlifting for a long time. I was really into resistance training, super into lifting heavy weights. As I was going through my spiritual awakening journey, all of a sudden, that wasn't really resonating with me anymore. So I kind of stopped working out along the way because I just wasn't feeling called or aligned with that. And instead of replacing that exercise with something else and moving my body in a different way, I just stopped doing it altogether. So have you noticed a shift and a change in your exercise habits? Or are you feeling maybe you're not even tolerant of the type of exercise you used to do? Maybe you used to love running and now you can't get off the couch and you have no interest in running. So just pay attention to that as well. And that is an invitation for you to try a new form of exercise. For me, I went from resistance training to running, which felt really good for a while, to doing Pilates. And that feels really good for me. Maybe your body is asking you for yoga or for dance, more dance-based workouts, or spinning classes. Or maybe you are moving more towards weightlifting and that's what feels good for you. Even if you don't know anything about it, just like having the awareness, my body wants to try something new. I am going to allow myself to be a beginner and to maybe go to my first fitness class or watch some YouTube videos and learn more about it. And then I'm going to try something new and I'm going to incorporate more exercise and movement into my day. The other thing that can happen with your spiritual awakening journey is you become more sensitive to energy. Your body is already processing so much energy all of the time, but you can, especially if you're an empath, really take on the feelings, energies, emotions of other people as if they were your own. Your body needs a way to process that somehow. And right now you may be snacking, you may be overeating or overindulging and binge eating on a lot of food. And instead, to move that energy, your body needs to physically move itself. So that could be going for that run, that jog, that walk, or that could be doing resistance training or Pilates or yoga. There's so many different things. Or maybe even doing an aquatic water-based workout, paddle boarding, kayaking, any type of way to move your body. Ask yourself, what would be a really fun form of exercise? And that may be totally contrary to what fitness coaches are telling you to do with you have to, do weightlifting and resistance training and you have to do things a certain way and you have to work out 3 times a week or 5 days a week or whatever it is. Listen to your body. What do you feel called to do? And if your body's saying, I just want to sit on the couch, okay, maybe you do need some rest, but it's not going to feel that way forever. And if that is the case, there may be something going on where we need to let go of, why do you feel so exhausted that you can't leave the couch? There's something else going on there because your body does need to move. It does want to move. It does want to move energy. And so what is that way that's going to feel really good for you? So exercise and just paying attention to what you feel called to do and to try and to move into, that's going to be super important for natural, joyful weight release that you may have taken on during the course of your spiritual awakening journey. So the next thing that I want you to take a look at, we've already talked about paying attention to your eating habits, but I want you to pay attention to the type of food that you're putting in your body. So are you eating a lot of processed foods? Processed, any food is processed if it's in a package, if it is in a box, if it's in a wrapper, that is processed food. If it has more than one ingredient, it is processed. Our bodies want to be eating more whole foods, foods from the earth, more fruits and vegetables. So any whole foods are single ingredient foods, such as a tomato or an apple. Strawberries, bananas, lettuce, carrots, broccoli, radishes, those are all single ingredient whole foods. So we want to be eating more non-processed foods. And we also want to begin to pay attention to how specific foods feel when we eat them. So I encourage you for a whole week to dedicate yourself to listening to your body and how it feels when you eat specific foods. So say, for example, your breakfast every single day is a cup of Greek yogurt with a banana. So I want you to eat that Greek yogurt and the banana and listen to your body and how it feels. Are you feeling some weird sensations in your stomach? Or do you feel energized and ready to go throughout your day? Another really great way to tune into this is to use muscle testing. So one of the best ways to muscle test is to do what's called the human pendulum technique. At least that's the name that I know for it. And to ask the question, body, would you like to eat a banana? And see if you move forward, that's a yes. If you move backwards, that's a no. You do this when you're standing up. Go find a YouTube video about it. There are so many out there. You can learn how to do this on your own. And you can ask and muscle test every single food that you eat. And that will show you. And it can change. Maybe today your body wants the banana, but tomorrow it doesn't. So muscle testing the foods that you eat and also paying attention to how foods feel in your body. We're all different. That's the thing. We're all different. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. And becoming a clean eating raw vegan may not be the best approach for you. There are a lot of spiritual teachers out there who are like, you have to eat completely clean, raw vegan, single ingredient foods all of the time. And that may be great for you, but that may not also be what you need. For me, as an intuitive, I actually eat an omnivore-like diet. I do eat meat, but I do make sure that it is whole, organic, grass-fed, cage-free, whatever the words, the terms are, to make sure that it is of the highest quality. But you may also your body may not respond well to meat, and that's okay. So again, tune into how you feel and also ask your body what it wants and use that muscle testing technique that I taught you, or that we just talked about. So beginning to notice how different foods make you feel and just becoming aware when you are reaching for the sugar or the processed food, the candy. Maybe you're reaching for that every day after dinner, and just be curious about it. I wonder why I'm reaching for the chocolate at this time of day. Or I wonder why I feel the need to grab that bag of chips when I get home from work. Am I really hungry, or is there something else going on? Because like we were talking about with emotional eating before, another really big indicator that can be going on other than just the lack of being grounded is that we have some trapped emotions or some unhealed trauma that we need to take a look at, that needs to be healed and released and let go of, so that we can be in right relationship with food and right relationship with our body. Because again, the reason why you are eating the chocolate or you're overeating the pizza or whatever the thing is that's bothering you or that's not feeling good in your body, there may be some trapped emotions there behind why you are not behind why you are not allowing your body to eat the foods that it wants to eat. And yes, of course, a chocolate chip cookie or a piece of chocolate is okay every so often. No foods are good, no foods are bad. That's one of the main tenets of intuitive eating. And again, I don't want you ever to make yourself wrong for any of this. All we want to do is be curious about why we're making these choices. But the more that we allow ourselves to be in right relationship with our body and with the food that we're eating, the better that we're going to feel, and the more we're going to crave the whole foods, the natural ingredients, and foods that our body is going to process in a better way than foods we may have been eating in the past. Ooh, my ear is ringing as I'm recording this video. Another thing that you may want to pay attention to is your caffeine intake. How much coffee or caffeine are you ingesting on a daily basis? Caffeine is not wrong, it's not bad, but if you are really overindulging on the caffeine every single day, it may be because your body is actually really tired and it really needs to rest. And if you're really tired, you may be overeating and overindulging more than you need to be. And of course, there's probably an emotional root cause of why you're doing that in and of itself. But just pay attention, how much caffeine are you ingesting? One of the biggest things that helped me was I released coffee from my diet. I might have a latte every now and then, but maybe once a month, if that. And instead, now I have a cup of tea every morning, which is a lower amount of caffeine. And that really was a game changer for me. That has helped me to feel so much better in my body as well. So just paying attention to the amount of caffeine that you ingest. And also paying attention to the amount of alcohol that you ingest as well. Again, alcohol, in my opinion, some intuitives will tell you alcohol is spirits, you're inviting in negative energies, negative entities. If you are wearing proper spiritual protection and you are closing off your energy field, when you have a glass of wine, you're not just automatically going to be inviting in and communing with the negative spirits, in my personal opinion. There may be other information about that on the internet that's out there. But again, just paying attention to the amount of alcohol that you're ingesting. Are you having a glass of wine every night with dinner? That turns into 2, that turns into 3. Or are you having it every once in a while for fun with family as a celebratory thing? And just paying attention to the amount that you're incorporating. Because the more that we can allow ourselves to eat and move in the way that feels good to our body, the better we're going to feel in the long run, and the weight is going to joyfully release itself. So I just want you to pay attention to some of the things that are sort of lighting up for you as you watch this video, where you feel like there could be some room for improvement in terms of what you're eating and how much. Also, are you drinking enough water? Water is really, really important. Are you starting your day with a glass of water? Coconut water is also a really amazing hydrator. It has a lot of electrolytes in it. So I start my day with a glass of coconut water with a little bit of lime juice, and that helps me to feel hydrated. And when you wake up really hungry, it may just be a cue that your body is telling you that you are dehydrated. So hydrating yourself, drinking a lot of water, drinking high quality water, having a really good water filtration system like a Berkey filter or reverse osmosis system or some really high quality water filtration system can really help you to ingest high quality water. That can also really help with this process as well. And incorporating exercise that makes you feel joyful, that is fun for you. Maybe that's dance, maybe that's Zumba, maybe that's Pilates, yoga, and incorporating more of that, and just making sure to move your body more often. You may need to get out for walks more often or dance around your house more often. Again, we're energetic beings, we're moving and digesting energy all of the time. The more you're aware of that, the more you can know when it's time for you to get out of your desk chair and move around, and when it may be time for you to take a nap and relax and sleep. And if you feel like there is something unhealed there's a reason and a cause for why you're indulging in emotional eating, why it's hard for you to get off the couch, then definitely make an appointment with me or another spiritual healer who can help you get to the root cause of what's going on so that you can joyfully release the weight easily and in a way that feels fun for you as well. Again, we're not making ourselves wrong for taking on the weight, but we want to feel good in alignment with our bodies. So I hope this video helps you along your journey. I want you to feel joyful in your body and joyfully connected to it and in joyful relationship with it. So I want that to be your guiding light when it comes to the decisions and choices that you make when it comes to how you fuel your body. All right, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you found this content helpful, subscribe to my channel and comment any insights that you had when watching this video. Sending love.